Today, I have the pleasure of speaking to Ali from American Tungsten on your most recent drill program at IMA Mine. Where should we start? Because this sounds to me like you are on schedule and on track to be producing in 2026.
Absolutely, Tracy. We're very excited with the progress that has been made on site. The team's doubled down, double shifting. We've got about 30 people working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Drilling started first week of December. We've now completed 2,120 feet across 5 holes at the D level. The 0 level is being readied for drilling with a second Haji 1000 rig. The core that we've been able to obtain thus far, highly mineralized. So I'd like to give credit to Austin Zinsser, our VP Exploration, who's done a fantastic job of designing the program and understanding the geological model. The first batch of core was submitted for assay back at the end of December. We should expect those results between 8 to 10 weeks is what we're told. And I suspect that we will be within that timeline. We've also done some rock chip and channel sampling at the tail end of December that I expect we will have some results here quite shortly. So very exciting for us to be able to delineate this asset and really better understand our ability to grow the resource, to grow the life of mine.
And for those of you who may not be familiar with the past producing tungsten mine in Idaho, the IMA mine, can you give us a bit of an overview?
Absolutely. It was a mine that was started in 1881, ran up until 1959, being the 4th largest producer of tungsten in North America. The Bradley Mining Group operated it till 1979. From 79 to 82, Inspiration through Anglo-American drilled an additional 12,000 feet on the project. And from 2008 to 2010, a company named Gentor drilled 25,000 feet on the project. So about 57,000 feet drilled, 15 miles of underground workings, all above the water table with no discharge from any of the adits, not requiring any dewatering. It also sits on private patented land, which is obviously very exciting for anybody in the mining space. What that means is you own the surface rights and the resource rights beneath that surface. So you're able to advance things a lot quicker, I should say, relative to anything that might be BLM or forestry. With respect to infrastructure, we've got a paved roadway leading up to the entrance of the mine site. We've also got power, the cheapest power in the United States in Idaho at 9 cents per kilowatt hour. And we own a significant land package in the valley floor where tailings from past production are roughly the size of 10 football fields by 8 football fields. So our intent is to put our mill site in and around that tailings facility and start to process, as you rightly stated, before the end of this year.
Many people are discussing how popular tungsten is. Tungsten is a critical mineral that many people may not appreciate is actually critical. And if you can touch on the recent U.S. defense procurement bans and the export restrictions on China and provide an update, please. Thank you.
Sure. I'm regularly in contact with individuals in Helsinki that are part of the International Tungsten Institute. I'm also speaking with our various off-takers, GTP, for instance, that has a lot of insight in the supply and demand economics around tungsten. What we've seen so far are prices of tungsten hitting about 1,100 in Rotterdam, close to 960 in China. And the small spread between them tells me that supply is scarce. And having spoken with some of our off-takers, the scarcity is rampant. It is almost impossible to get your hands on scrap as well. So the export bans that are in place have been in place for the last 2.5 years, maybe 3. But China is now doubling down on those restrictions. In fact, they canceled a contract with Japan last week, and they're looking to do the same with other buyers as well. So tungsten is critical. I think it's more critical than it ever has been. I've read somewhere that it's the black gold is what it's being touted. And in our view, with the high grade that we have at 0.63, the 2 ounce per ton silver that we have, as well as the 0.15% moly, and then, of course, you couple that with a very low capex to turn production back online. I think the economics are quite compelling.
Speaking of compelling, American Tungsten has been on a fast track for news releases, and you put one out in December that we haven't had a chance to speak to you about yet. It's about your deal with Viking Mines. Can you tell us a little bit more about why that deal was put together?
Of course. Viking Mines holds 5 properties in Nevada. One of them was a past producer, relatively high grade, about 0.8%. So high grade vein systems, very similar to what we have at IMA. With IMA, we have a current resource of just shy of 1 million ton Our expectation once we've completed this drilling program is that we're well in excess of that. That will give us a life of mine that spans anywhere between 7 to 16 years, depending on our production profile, as well as our ability to grow the resource. With Patterson, Idaho, going to be the home of a processing facility for tungsten, we're looking at optionality in terms of either asset acquisitions that we bring on into the fold and process in Idaho, or replicate the very low capex model that we have in place for IMA. And so this investment was made solely to ensure that we have the optionality to partner with this organization without deploying any of our human capital and remaining focused on building IMA.
Now, it's my understanding you're currently focused on producing an updated 43101. Is that correct?
That is correct. So our updated resource statement comes out in March this year.
And for those of you also interested in molybdenum, which of course is a little challenging to say, you also have molybdenum on your project at IMA.
We do. So it's a moly porphyry system, in fact, a very high-grade moly system. We have a grade of about 0.15. If you were to go 60 miles down the road to Thompson Creek, which is Centerra's mine that they're restarting, their grade is vastly less than ours. So a very strong moly presence in our porphyry system with the silver and tungsten-rich veins running through it. The moly and silver will amount to about $180 per ton in credits that we will receive, outside of any profits that we generate from our tungsten production. It is my belief that as this asset evolves and once we have depleted the tungsten veins and the tungsten resource, it will likely start as a moly mine. So I think there's a lot of upside there for moly mining in the future.
Yesterday, I enjoyed reading Halgarden Plus company Christopher Ecclestone just initiated coverage on American tungsten, and I liked his title, Leading the Tungsten Race in the U.S. Can you tell us why he selected this title?
I would assume it has to do with the fact that we will more than likely be the first producer of tungsten in North America since 2015. The asset being private and patented, as we've stated, the infrastructure is excellent. The support from the state and federal government has been quite encouraging as well. So we've got the right recipe to be that first producer, and of course that is our intent. So we appreciate Christopher's title choice there.
Your timeline has got to be intense to be producing by the end of 2026. What should shareholders be looking forward to as milestones in this upcoming quarter?
Well, look out for our uplist on the TSX. That happens in February. In March, we'll have an updated resource statement. In April, we will have our PEA. In May, we will do an uplist on the United States, one of the United States exchanges. In June, we will likely start to procure our equipment, with concrete being poured in July, and the mining to commence around October of this year. So first product sale before year end 2026.
As always, it's a real pleasure, Ali. And for everybody out there seeking more information on American tungsten, please go to the following website. Thank you, Ali.
Thank you, Tracy.